What's up, everybody? This is your boy Lucky Loco, Native American entrepreneur, owner of A&B Native American Cuisine. And on this channel, as you always know, there's no drama, there's no competition. We always have that mindset to where we want everybody to win. And we also want to put other people on. We want to put some gente, some raza. We want to put other entrepreneurs, other people that do excellent in their community and who do great stuff, man. Today we have Marcus. We definitely like to introduce yourself. Marcus, would you like to introduce yourself to the YouTube community out here?
Absolutely. What's up, everybody? First off, I want to say thanks for the opportunity to come and chat with you, Lucky. I followed your progression, and man, I love what you're doing for the community and for everybody. And just to chat a little bit about myself, my name's Marcus Davila. I'm a director here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm a Navy veteran, Latino. I've lived in San Antonio most of my life, but also lived in a couple other cities in the U.S. Summers I grew up in Monterrey, Mexico, with my grandfather, and so the raza runs deep in this Hispanic boy right here. And yo hablo español también, so when people want to chat in Spanish, I'm also here as well. So si se puede, for all my gente, we can do it all together. And thanks for the opportunity to come and chat, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. And we got Shadow Pit in the house. That's my brother from Southern California. He's been a long time. Me and him been a long time followers on YouTube together. And
Awesome.
oh, we got Little Dog in the house, man. I appreciate you, Little Dog, for tapping in.
What's up? What's
And
up? La Fiamma? Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so were you always in San Antonio, or where were you raised at?
So I was born here in San Antonio, and I graduated high school a year early. After I graduated, um, 9/11 happened, and I had been off for a few months, and I joined the Navy about eight to 9 days after 9/11 happened. I felt a call to serve for my country, and I felt like I couldn't just sit around while this type of stuff was happening to, our country. And I felt like there was something that I could do, and I went and I got a chance to get a hold of a recruiter and took the test, my ASVAB. I scored pretty well, and they opened up the book for me and let me choose between the enlisted jobs. And I got a chance to see what they had to offer, and they had two that really stuck out for me, and it was a nuclear technician and cryptologic technician. And so the nuke tech, I would have had to go to 2 years school in Virginia, but they had a really big bonus. And then the cryptologic technician was like a computer hacker for the military, and the school was in Pensacola, Florida. So I was like, okay, Virginia or Florida Beach, and
Ooh, man. Which one you
exactly.
going?
So I had to go with Pensacola. I love Florida, and I hadn't been there, and that's why I joined the Navy, was to get a chance to travel, go around the world, and also help my country while I was doing it. So first thing they do, they ship you off to Chicago for boot camp. And Great Lakes it's on the outskirts of Chicago. And when you graduate boot camp, they give you a couple Liberty Days, about a weekend. And my family came up. We got a chance to see Chicago. I love Chicago. I've only been once, but it just left an everlasting feeling in my heart, seeing a huge metropolitan city, and just the way that there were so many different types of people, races, and everybody interacting, and all for the common good. This was 2001, and it was pretty awesome back then. From there, I went to Pensacola, Florida. I was stationed there for about a year and a half, and then after that, I was stationed on a ship in San Diego, California. So I was on Pier 6 on the USS Ogden, and whenever we'd come back into port, I'd either shoot up to Los Angeles to go spend some time with a cousin that he was going to the Art Institute, Otis Art Institute over there. And if I wasn't over there, I'd be in Tijuana, because Tijuana I was a minor, so you really party and hang out in California. All the places are 21 and up, and they're super expensive. Parking's $100, and
Wow.
so, yeah, like it was just really expensive there, and they try to dissuade minors from coming in. So it'll either be no minors or like $100 cover charge. So I was like, nah, that's just not my thing. So I was fluent in Spanish growing up and spending time in Monterrey. So I was like, all right, man. I grabbed a little Hispanic homie, and I said, let's go to Tijuana, go check it out. And so we crossed over, and this is when we were allowed to cross over and hang out over there. And man, Tijuana just it was fantastic. This was 2002, before some of the big narco wars started, and man, they accepted me. I made a lot of friends over there. Got a chance to see Rosarito and some of the other towns. But Mexico has always held a warm place in my heart, and so I feel like that's a second home to me, Mexico, if there was one. But after my time was up, I came back to San Antonio, and just been hustling ever since. I felt like I'd catch my how would I say, my turbo speed somehow. And I've been working in construction, a couple other remodeling stuff, but hadn't really hit anything until I met my wife. When COVID was happening, I was just stuck at home on the ranch. We were living outside of San Antonio on a 10-acre ranch. My parents had their 5 acres. I had my 5 acre ranch, but that's just me. And I got bored, so started looking into online dating, and I met this girl at a park. We chatted, and this is my wife now. We have a 2.5-year-old son. But one of the coolest things about her is she was attending Los Angeles Film School, and so I got a chance to watch her excel and get her degree in cinematography. And
Oh, nice.
whenever she was free, she just shared tips with me, and I started learning film. I started doing that on the side, and my side gig is now turning into my full time gig, where I have an agent now. His name is
Mm.
yeah. Um, Thanasis is based out of Athens, Greece. So I have an international agent that he's also in charge of our distribution, media distribution for films. So we have an avenue that we can just pump films into a huge crowd. So right now, her and I are just developing our projects the best that we can, so that they can be mass marketed.
Nice. That's beautiful, man. Yeah. So, as you said, the 9/11 thing, and and for everybody that's watching, we all want to give you salute and praise, and for being a hero and stepping up to the plate as that time. And um, it sounds like sounds like a great opportunity that you took advantage of. And what would you say you got from the military? Like, what was the most exciting place you ever visited? I want to ask.
Probably San Diego. The first time I got to San Diego, it was just California is a different state of mind. You see people that are super rich compared to over here. I'll say in Texas, like Beamers and Mercedes are like Hondas and Fords over here. You just see them everywhere. You see Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and for me, I've always been inspired by seeing other people's success. So I never felt like I was hating on anything or anyone there. I always felt like, you know what, like if they can do it, I can do it. I just got to find my way around that I can, and I've just been hustling ever since. But I always felt like California inspired me to be thinking outside of the box and not to be complacent with my position in life, because anything can change at any given moment. And first off, I mean, I appreciate my health every morning that I wake up, and thank my creator. But after that, it's like, all right, let's get to the grind. Let's keep climbing up that hill, just keep pushing that rock up like Atlas did, and not worry about the time, not worry about the plays. Just keep pushing and rising up to the occasion.
Yeah, most definitely. And with that, my nephew just enlisted last year for the Marines, and he's in San Diego right now. And I was asking him, I was like, "Man, what's the best place to go eat at?" He's like, "Man, there's so many different places in San Diego. It's not even funny." It's like, and he's like, "And the cost of living in California is outrageous." He's like, "When I spend $20 here in Yakima, it's like $40 out there." And he's talking about like McDonald's and stuff like that. So he's
Yeah,
just like, so it's
there
like you
is a
said.
price increase. Yeah, for sure, bro. It's like Texas dollars are half of what California dollars are.
Right? That's how I feel too, because like when I'm paying for rent here and when I went to go look for rent in places in California. I was like, what? I was like, man, my stomach turned. I was like, man, but there's money to be made. There's if you're lazy and like you said, if you don't have that mindset to up and go get it, and you have to have that to go attitude. I notice in California too that you always have to go. There's time to kick it, but you always have to work. You always have to get what you earn. And for people with mindsets, it seems like we have a lot in common when it comes to the hustle game. Like no matter what, there's barriers. We obviously come over them because you're I'm proud of your accomplishments of choosing the film industry and what you explained your wife um, gave you a glimpse of what it is. And I've been watching your trailers ever since I subscribed to your channel too. So,
Thank
and
you.
that's pretty cool. I mean, when you build something like there's a lot of people that'll think of a situation but never put it into pictures, like put it into explain the world that as everybody should know, he's made a film called American Coyote, and
Yeah.
with that, how long did it take to come up with the idea of like, hey, look, I got experience of Tijuana and etc. Like the whole because what got you into that story particularly?
I've always been close with Hispanic people, and I got a chance to hear the stories about the stuff that was happening for years. People have been traveling from Mexico here to the United States for a long time. They've used Mexicans for labor up north at different stages of work where hard manual labor was what they called for, and I felt like there've been a lot of films that get a chance to show just a certain angle or we'll say a glimpse of what it's like to be Mexican. And when I would go to Mexico, all of my friends spoke Spanish there, so instantly I had to convert to all Spanish. When I would go visit them at their houses, my grandfather had a nice house, and we had air conditioning there. We had a refrigerator there. That they didn't have refrigerators. They were living in mason brick houses, or that were built out of concrete with dirt floors. And they'd go shopping for food when they could. Most of the kids were malnutritioned. Like I had a neighbor that he was my age, but he weighed about 100 pounds, and
Oh
I was
wow!
I was 13 at the time. Yeah, and so his name was Fernando. And we would go and play soccer, and I'm about 150 pounds, 160 pounds at 13, and we would go and play, and he'd get pushed around when we played, but it was because he didn't have the chance to eat. And then I'd go over. He'd invite me to his house, and him and his brother and his two sisters and his parents, they would all share food. And I felt bad, honestly, when I was invited for food, because they would share their small portions with me, and I felt like, I was
Yeah,
taking a bit from them. But it was these type of memories that I had, and seeing people here on the streets of San Antonio that were asking and begging for work, with Spanish signs, going to work labor when I had to, and just chatting with the guys, and the guys explaining to me which part of Mexico they were from. And I'd ask them, hey, so, where are you from? And then they would tell me, oh, okay, I'm from this part. I'm from Michoacan. I'm from this. And I'm like, well, tell me about it. They're like, oh, no, well, see, I had to hike from here to here, and then a coyote took me from here to here, and then I'd ask him, "Oh, how much did they charge?" He's like, "Oh man, well, this is what I was charged here," and then they raised the rate on me, so I had to wait there and work for them for a year, and it's
oh
like.
wow,
Exactly. Some of these stories, I wanted to put a face on the trafficking that was getting done, and I chose the American Coyote because I don't feel like there's a film that has taken the point of view of a child coming over and being separated from his family, and then rising in a criminal organization against his will, because that's unfortunately the life that some of these people have to go through. They have no choices. When a cartel comes to town in Mexico, you either work for them or you leave the town, and you better leave fast, and be
oh
careful.
wow,
Your
yeah.
family better be careful, because they do hold grudges. And then what'll happen is another faction will come and take over the town. So all of the people that were associated with the other group before, they instantly get a bunch of stuff happen to them that we won't talk about here. But there's a lot of bad things happening that aren't being counted, that aren't being told in the news, because the news is paid for by the people that have money down there. And unfortunately, those people aren't always the best characters. So I felt like there was a chance for me to shine a flashlight on a dark room and just make a fictional tale of a bunch of stories that I heard from people, and just put it all together so that people get a chance to witness what it would be like if they were somebody that was put into a position that didn't have a choice, and their only choice was to rise in a criminal organization or die. And they're fighting for their life, but at the same point they're also taking from other people and breaking laws. But when it's break the law versus death, I mean, most people are going to choose break the law, as you can see right now with the people that were trying to cross the border, recently. They just coming over in mass now, and they're bombarding the border patrol checkpoints and stuff because they have no choice. And I feel like I feel sad for the people that don't have a choice, and I wish we all had an opportunity at least to make something of ourselves. And I feel like this is a chance to just share a story with people that hopefully they'll be empathetic with. I don't want to glorify anything of the bad power players that I show in our film. I just wanted to give it a face, to give it a picture, to give it a give it something that people could look at and be like, recognize that when they see people that are here in America struggling, just say, you know what, like, who knows what they came through to get here. Maybe they deserve a chance, for citizenship, or somehow that they can help our country.
Yeah, most definitely, because I do believe that the migrant workers are the backbone of the American dream, because without them, how much we'd be paying for produce and the hard work. And it's sad that it has to be exploited on the gente and the raza that crosses the border. And, so many people put these stigmas like they're all bad and all. It's just like when I live here in a migrant community. I live out here in Wapato, Washington, to where it's nothing but fields. And then when the migrant workers do come, I always make a point that I'll scream out loud when I see them at Walmart, and it makes them feel good. I'm like, "Viva la raza, muchos gracias, amigos." They're all
Yeah,
clapping, and because so many people will honk and tell them all this crazy stuff, and I see it, and it's it's because that work is something else. Like, even my grandmother was telling me about living here in Wapato, Washington, because I'm originally from Canada.
yeah,
And she was telling me about when she came here, there were so many different migrant workers here, from Russians to Filipinos to, that's why there's so many here. And that's why there's so many mixed Canadians and the tribe here. They would fall in love, either stay here or go to Canada. But yeah, for you know, AC Lopez says that they do have a choice, but it's when you're put in a situation to, like you said, where say there is no law in that community. Like, the money, like you said, money runs everything, and given the circumstances where you're given no choice, but you're going to starve, or you're going to take advantage of the money. You're going to take advantage, and it sucks that these are the people, because we were talking before we came on, and then there was I was telling you about the missing and murdered indigenous women, and how much the Mexicanos, the Raza, and the Native Americans have so much more in common than they do, um, that they don't have in common. Like,
absolutely.
with the whole, we're put on this, like, the poorest part of the land, and you gotta strive or come through. And it sucks because I chose the criminal element to feed my family from a young age. If you ever watch any of my stories, shoplifting at 8 years old, being left home alone, and like you said, malnourished, and it's like, hey, I gotta go. You know, as an 8 year old, the only, when they already took me out boosting to go feed their habits or whatever that they're gonna do, I caught on to that, and I was praised for it. You know what I mean? They saw
Yeah.
anything that I did, and then meeting other family members that did give me, it was just marijuana at the time to go sell at school.
Yeah.
So I was taught all this stuff, and then it was just like, well, how else is if somebody raised me different, in that type of era, and it took a long time for me to change my life and just to be able to recognize the wrongs I've done. And sometimes, and like I said, that I'm not going to disagree or agree. This is an open discussion. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that are opinionated on others' walks of life, and like what we're talking about. And it's and I'm really glad that you came on today to share this story, because you're giving us a glimpse of something that, like you said, not too many people, they don't like to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the exploitation of poverty, of damn near starving to death, because they if they get into the whole like element of just like straight poverty. Because I felt bad because I was just recently started working at Legends Casino again, and there's a coworker. She's from Mexico, and I was like, "Hey, did you watch that movie, that Netflix Griselda?" She's like, "What's that?" And I told her about it, and she got mad. She's like, "What you guys watch on TV is what I lived in Mexico, what I had to live through in Mexico. I've seen too many deaths. I've seen too many people getting taken out. So why would I want to watch them?" She's like, "I'm just happy to be here in America."
Yeah, there's a lot of glorification that Hollywood will do for that, and it's my first film, and we're doing this on a pretty shoestring budget, but we're doing our best to showcase as realistic a view as we can, so that people get a chance to see the reality of what's going on, versus a star portraying a role, that they got a chance to change some stuff up that would look cool on TV. There's not a lot of stuff that's going to look cool in this movie. It's going to be real life, what people have lived through and fought through to stay alive. When you join one of these factions, it's for life. And then the first thing that you have is sometimes your family will be against you, because now, okay, you're a notorious character that's wanted by other factions, where they're going to try to harm your family to get at you. You got the other people against you. You have the government against you. So all of these things are weighing on your head, and you have all this stuff closing in on you when you're just trying to make it as a person. And not everybody is versed in math, not in being able to read and write, and some of these people, they just catch them early before they get a chance to really develop themselves into a person that can do something, can contribute to the world. And I feel like that's the story that I wanted to tell. I know that this story won't pertain to everybody, and everybody won't empathize with it, and I want those people to be appreciative, to understand. I hope that people get a chance to just see what the shoe is like on the other foot for some people, because not everybody over here understands what it's like to be broke for months at a time, and that your only chance at making money is working for people that are doing stuff that you don't want to be doing. But what other choice do you have? So that's kind of the story that I wanted to tell in this film. It's my first film, and I felt like come out with something that I can tell. And I know a lot of people that have been that have gone through stuff, and their stories are just something that's ultimately, I mean, it's haunting what they've been through. And there's not a lot of people keeping track of what's happening with missing people coming from Central America and Mexico to the U.S. There's millions of people that have entered, but nobody has any idea of how many were left along the sides of the road, how many are still being held captive against their will, and that's something that I just wanted to share so people get a chance to realize, like, not everything is as it seems on TV just because it's been shown that way.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I appreciate YouTube because it gives us a voice. Because before any of the social media, they would run the news stations. They wouldn't even put people of color, that kids that came up missing. Because I remember like even in the 80s, 90s, I've seen these like people come missing. I was like, man, I have somebody in the neighborhood just come up missing too. Why aren't they on there? Aren't they just as important? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
all these laws had to be passed for, getting equal opportunity to be able to get hired. Of people of color, you gotta hire so many people of color to keep the standards without being sued, and
yeah.
just all this stuff. And with your experience out there in Mexico, is there a welfare system that helps, or are they just out there? You got to fend for yourself and not get any type of help?
See, the thing with Mexico is they don't have a lot of money, so the systems that they have will only provide for so many people. And I guess we kind of have the same issue here in America. We have a lot of people that are, complaining about the help going to the migrants that are undocumented, because there's also people that are homeless. There's also the veteran system, I would say, help. There's a lot of people dealing with mental health illnesses that aren't getting help. So we have American citizens who are here in America, and we're one of the best countries, I feel, in the world, and not everybody is getting help. So when you look at a third world country, like I feel Mexico is, you're not going to be entitled to the same type of help. And if it is, you got to know somebody. And so waiting on the government to help you is something that's really difficult. With the president releasing a couple of days ago that he's not going to be fighting the narcos, that they're trafficking of fentanyl across the border to the U.S. Is at almost an all time high, and he's not worried about it because they're not going to be shooting Mexican people, and he's worried about them because they're Mexican people, and he doesn't want to hurt them. When you have a president that doesn't stand up for the people that are legally, in their country, doing their best, following the laws, then I mean, who's going to stick up for you? Then it becomes a moral quandary where then I feel empathetic to the people that want to leave there, like, hey, I might have to break the law to get into the U.S., but what other choice do I have? Stay here and either work for those guys. There's no jobs coming in, and the exports that they have going out are nothing compared to what where they could the money that they could make here in the United States.
Okay, hold on. AC Lopez, I appreciate it. I'm just doing an interview right now, and at the end of the conversation, the interview, I'll definitely drop the link. But right now, I want to get to know more of the entrepreneurship of the homeboy here. So with that one also, what is your views on how veterans, like the homeless veterans, and what can help with that? Is it like a lot of it just trauma that they're not wanting to take advantage of situations? Because I have friends that are veterans and are homeless and are hooked on drugs, fentanyl, and whatever else.
I feel like first off, mental health is something that is severely depleted resources here in the United States. I feel like the veterans that I do know, most of them that have served combat time, they are dealing with stuff that I don't have to deal with. So I don't know exactly firsthand what they are, but when they describe to me the stuff that they've lived through, it changes a person. The stuff that they had to do for our country, the fact that they have to wait, weeks, months at a time before they can see or speak to somebody because there's a long line, is something that I feel is it's not right. I feel like just like they signed on the dotted line and were instantly available for any type of job they needed, they did their part, and I feel like America can do more and to help out the people that have actually, done their part for the United States military. And I feel like right now we have resources that are being sent, or the Senate and other committees are trying to send to, Ukraine, to Israel, to all of these other countries, and not saying anything that they don't need it, but what about the people here in America, that have already put in their work and that have been, that are here just sitting on the streets, and nobody's worried about putting that veteran in rehab, giving him a place to stay or live. We have a freight system where New York is offering, money, and Chicago's offering money to undocumented migrants. And I'm not one that can fix the system, but I do see some flaws, and ultimately I see a lot of people that need help. And with that being said, we're sending so much money outside the United States that I feel like a lot of people are forgotten, and it's just prolonging the problem that we have here. I would if I had a massive budget, I'd get every veteran housing if possible, because they signed their life away
They did.
when
They
kind of.
did. That's what every time I see somebody that's wearing Vietnam veteran, and the AC Lopez here asked, and I want to ask him about his belief if I can. Okay.
Sure, I'm spiritual. I believe in God. I don't give him a name or a religion, but I know that there's an ultimate creator, and I feel that everybody's allowed to have their own beliefs, and I respect theirs as long as they don't tread on mine. But I feel ultimately we're all created by something greater than myself, and every day I do my best to try to help as many people as I can, with the understanding that I'm getting help from the person above as well, the creator of everything that we have. I believe in love, and I think that love conquers all. And man, if there's something that I can help my friends, family, and strangers with, that's the first thing I tell them is, if there's anything I can do for you, just let me know, because that's my job ultimately. I feel in this world is to help people. And with sharing this story, the American Coyote, I feel that there's some people that their story hasn't been told, and I hope that it helps people. In the end, God willing, I'd like to create some type of foundation after, where we're helping people that are homeless, where we're helping people that are willing to come in and help themselves also. We're not looking to just give away stuff and items. We're looking to teach people, like the skills, so that they can provide for themselves and their family, or at least show them avenues where they can help themselves and other people. I'll have barbecues, and sometimes the areas that I'll have it in, there'll be homeless that come by and they smell it, and I'll offer what I can, and but really, I feel like everybody has a chance to contribute something, whether it's through storytelling, whether it's through helping physically, manual labor, whether it's through, you know, whatever it is. I feel like everybody has a job that they can do something karmatically positive in this world. And the more people that we can change that are not doing anything, the more people that are doing negative that we change to do positive, the more uplifting and positive our world can be. And I guess that's the type of belief I have, is that anybody can change, especially the people that have committed mistakes, because failure is the best teacher, I feel.
Yeah.
And you got to fall down a couple of times before you learn how to run, and we've all been there before. And like I was telling you a little bit before, sometimes you just got to be pulled back a little bit before you can get released forward with that slingshot
Yeah.
effect. And I feel like homeless people are one of the people that I definitely have a place in my heart for, that I try to help when I can.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. Because even with I noticed when I was in California, like the Oakland, the San Francisco area. I mean, for the working Joe, man, it's the average person is caught between, like how you said, like either have a roof over your head and really not be able to provide for your family. It seems like like you said, meals had to be shared, and if somebody was able to help you, and if you make so much X amount, you're not eligible for food stamps. And when somebody's that's working, because before all of this, I was a single father to my son when I got out of prison, and I started working at T-Mobile, and I made, I think it was like $100 more than, no, it was something more than I wasn't eligible for it. And I was like, man, I was like, because I was paying rent and insurance, all that other fun stuff, and it was like we barely had anything in the fridge. Like if you looked in my fridge, there was like it was, but we made through. Thank God he didn't mind uh, hot dogs and mac and cheese, and you know, and the bare essentials of ramens and just survival mode.
Yeah.
And, and with that, and like I've been following you for a while too, and watching what you do, and you seem to have a lot of great following on your social media platform too. You were just recently in a magazine.
Yes, I recently was chosen to be on my first cover of a magazine for a magazine here based in San Antonio called Latin X SA, and I'm pumped. It's exciting, and I also feel like I want to inspire. I want to inspire my sons, my three sons first off, and then of course exponentially outside. I've committed my mistakes and I paid for them, and I feel like if I can be on a magazine, you can be on a magazine, anybody can, and I want to just show people that anything I can do, y'all can do, and if I can help you get there, let me know, because we all deserve to have that feeling of glory and achieve our greatness that I feel in life. That time is fleeting. Tomorrow isn't promised to everyone, and I'm appreciative of every day, every moment. I try to spend as many hours awake as I can. Sometimes I'm burning the candle, on both ends of the week, because I'm working on stuff late, and then I'll have to be up early the next day. But I just feel that I feel that life is short. I'm trying to do as much as I can while I'm here. And the first thing would be to inspire my kids that they can get a chance to do anything that they feel that will help them achieve their goals and be positive members of the community, and for others to inspire as well.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's uh as the industry, because even with the food and beverage industry, it's uh it's a hard thing to break. I mean, because we got so many competitors, like you said, you got movie actors, you got all this stuff, and I know people work their way up the ladder and stuff, and to break into a world that's able to have a budget, seems like an unlimited budget, like for instance, like franchises for McDonald's, for franchises for McDonald's, Burger King, just all these different things. And when it comes, when all these big banks they needed bailouts, they got the bailouts. But when I went for a business loan, I was basically laughed out of the bank, out of my credit union, laughed out of the loan offices, and it's just like, so I had to start something from the ground on up.
Yeah.
And did you ever face those like those blockades that were in front of us?
Sure. I feel like honestly, when I would go and apply at a job, the first thing they would see was my Hispanic face. So when I was applying for something that they felt was above my pay grade, they would tell me, "Oh, well, you're overqualified," or "Oh, we got this other position for you." I never felt like I got a fair shake, and I always feel like everybody was willing to offer me jobs at the bottom. And when my wife was going through school, I just kind of had an epiphany where if I'm not going to learn anything and that I can channel my passion through, I'm always going to be at the mercy of somebody else. And
Yeah,
so I feel like with film, um, every person has seen hundreds, if not thousands, of films in their life, and I feel like I'm unique in my storytelling style, that I can provide a story that people would be interested in. That that I'd be able to write, direct, and put everything together to where not only would it be something interesting, but it would be something that would stay in people's hearts for a while. And so we got a chance to talk a lot about it, my wife and I. And she said, "Well, I'll teach you what I can, and then you go with it from there." And I've always been a people person, so I've worked at all types of restaurants. I've done labor. I made a um, I made a name for myself doing remodeling gigs, but ultimately I've done so many jobs that just it didn't feel right, and this one does because I feel like I can put it all together. I can be the gum that sticks everybody together and creates this film, for everybody to enjoy. And that's what I love about film is I get a chance to network, I get a chance to build relationships with new people, I get to call old friends. I was talking a few minutes ago with somebody who won a championship on the Spurs team, and we're talking about stuff in our future. I mean, I'm a huge basketball fan, so to have
Right.
people on my phone texting me that have won championships, and I just pick their brain and I tell them, what could you share? What can you tell me? And getting a chance to take some of those lessons and apply them to my life. And hard work and dedication to your craft is one of the first things that they'll tell me is that you gotta put in those man hours. And so I do the best that I can networking, and after that I leave myself open to learning. I don't feel I'm a master of anything, and I feel I'm a student of everything, and I'm always trying to learn and do better and get better at what I'm doing. So this being my first film, the fact that I have a studio behind me distributing all over the world. I have a talent agent that's gotten me great actors. I have DJ Kane, a Grammy Award winner, that's going to be in it. I have Michael Ocho Torrena, who's a huge film star, and he's gotten a chance to be in over 200 films. It's huge for me to have that type of support in the beginning, and I feel like this is my channel where I get a chance to release some of my passion projects, but to have a chance at saving for my kids' future as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, I got AC Lopez. Me and him actually grew a really great bond and friendship through social media, and he
Awesome.
wants a few questions to ask. So the
Sure.
platform's yours, there, AC.
Hey, Lucky. And first and foremost, I agree with like 70% of the things you say. But please let's remember that immigration today is not like immigration was 50 years ago. Because the people that are crossing our border right now are not Mexican. They're Haitians. They're Chinese. They're Muslims. And the reason I wanted to come on is because I want to make that point. Okay, immigration today is not like when my parents had to come to this country. Okay, legally and cross through the gates and have to wait almost 20 years to become U.S. citizens. Okay, Daddy. And then when they became U.S. citizens, they had to go to a class. Okay, and they had to pass it, and then they had to pledge their allegiance to America. Now, please understand that we live in the best country in the world, okay? And there's lots of injustices. There's injustices with Leonard Peltier. There's injustices with Louis V. Rodriguez. He passed away like, I think it was like 10 years ago. But I was able to walk the yard with him at Pelican Bay. I was able to hear his story, and yeah, there's injustices, okay? Because we're not perfect. But immigration today is not like immigration 50 years ago. And that's the point that I wanted to come on and make, because the people that are coming to this country right now, they're not coming to make their lives better. They're coming to attack and take advantage. and to the point where you would hope that there's have the house now is because the VA helped me. But we as veterans have to find those resources. Do
Yeah,
you
I
understand?
mean, yeah, I wasn't saying that everybody's perfect across
Yeah,
the board.
Mexicans have never stopped coming over to the United States, though. I mean, I'll correct you there. Mexicans didn't stop coming over to the United States just because other people are coming over with them. Just to start there,
I
you
didn't
can't.
say that. I
No,
did
no, no.
not say that.
Hold on,
What
hold
I
on.
said
You
is
said
that the majority of people that are coming over right now are not Mexican. That's what I said.
that's still it's has nothing to do with the film that I'm making and the immigration calls. That's going to be something that you have to deal with your councilman, something with your government agents that are letting people in because right now the state of Texas is actively working to keep people out, and the government of the United States is actively working to bring them in. So that's
And guess what? I support the state of Texas. The
oh
state of Texas has the right to do what they got to do, okay,
like
to keep people out.
Yeah, I agree too, but that's not what's happening, unfortunately. So the people that are coming across, there's no measure for it, and the ever-changing fact that there's Haitians, Chinese, Iranians, everybody coming through. They're coming through Mexico, and Mexico is letting them in somewhere, somehow. And so there's a lot of players that are getting a chance to be shadows in this. And unfortunately, the only person keeping track is America once they get across. But there,
My only point in this, okay, is after hearing you talk about it, okay, my only point in this is that the people that are coming over here are not Mexicans, okay? 70% of the people are not Mexicans, okay? And most Mexicans, when they come over here, they go through it legally.
that's your opinion.
Legally. It's
Uh,
not my opinion, it's fact.
Yeah, it is. It is your opinion because there's no data that you can provide telling me that 70% are
Okay.
non-Mexicans.
Okay,
What you're
okay, check this
guesstimating,
out.
okay, but
Okay, check this
you
out.
have your
You said there's no
perspective.
data. You said there's no data, right? You just
No,
said
I
that.
didn't say
There's no
that.
data.
I said
Okay.
that your 70% that you're talking about that are not Mexicans. I said that that's your guesstimate. That's what I said.
But
Where's the data supporting that
but
being?
there is data. Look,
Okay,
look.
AC, can we,
It,
the whole thing
it,
of this
no,
interview is to
no,
bring
no,
light to this
I'll let
movie.
you. I'll let you. I'll let you. Look, 323-674-1844. That's my number. Give me a call. I'll do the research and I'll prove you wrong. Okay?
You should have done the research already before you started stating
No,
percentages.
no, my point, I only have a point to make.
Yeah,
Okay?
but you can't be stating percentages if that's going to be your fact and your cause and you haven't done the research. I
Well, I
suggest you do the
have, but
research,
I'll give you the
do the
research.
research
Okay?
before you
Like I
provide.
don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know the numbers. Okay? Anyway,
Well,
keep doing what you're doing. Okay? But just realize that 7% of people are not Mexican. Lucky, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
love you, AC
appreciate it. I
Lopez.
support
You're my
you.
homie.
Keep it
Just,
going.
like I said, not everybody has to agree, and I appreciate you
No,
being
we don't.
respectful and you guys being
No,
respectful
we
to each
don't.
other. And what I'm doing
You're
here is
right.
just shedding light on his goal, his dreams, and his story is controversial. That's the whole thing of us being able to debate the situations of not everybody's going to agree, and that's like you said, that's a beautiful part of being a part of
Hmm.
America. There's not a dictatorship to where this is how it goes, and that's the only way. When we can communicate with one another and keep it on a respectful level, and two people, a lot of us will not agree on situations, and a lot of you guys don't. Whenever I bring up situations of stories on my platform, and I appreciate that because everything I say isn't golden. It's just my opinion. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. I gave you my number. You can call me. I'll answer.
Oh yeah, I
Thank you
got your
for the
number, brother.
opportunity. Keep doing what you're
Yeah,
doing.
text me on
Keep,
Facebook, and I'll
keep,
give you a
keep,
shout afterwards, brother.
keep doing what you're doing. But just remember, like 7% of people that are coming over here right now are not Mexican.
But that has nothing to do with my film. You keep saying the 70%, but that has nothing to do
That's
with.
the point. Look, that's the only point that I wanted to make. Okay.
Okay,
So keep doing what you're doing. Fight for the causa. I'm there. Okay. I support
okay.
my Mexican brothers, my indigenous brothers. I support the struggle. Keep doing what you're doing. I just want to put that point out there that like the people that we're laying in right now are not like really people that are coming into this country to make it better. They're trying to make it worse. But anyway, go back to your the interview. I'll watch. Thank you for my piece. Thank you for allowing me to say my words. Love you. Take care.
All right, salute, AC. Okay, yeah, that's AC Lopez. Like I said, there's a lot of people on my channel. A lot of them. I do bring up controversial stuff of the missing and murdered indigenous women. Bring up stuff. You know, I brought up a subject of how gays were treated back in the day to where it's a difference now. And my opinion was that in schools they're bringing awareness of not bullying somebody to where they're gonna, off themselves or unalive themselves to where everybody has opportunity to live and be happy. As long as you're not hurting nobody, as long as you're not doing stuff to kids, to innocent people, then my opinion was, it brings up subjects, it brings up stuff that people that they don't have to agree with you. That's just my opinion. It's not.
Yeah, I'm not too versed on the percentages, but I feel like the people are going to get here to the U.S. whether we open the borders or not, especially with the president that we have now. So if we don't get a chance to incorporate them to becoming citizens, to making them work and pay taxes and help out our government, then they're just going to be this shadow faction that doesn't
Yeah.
have benefits, and then they are going to fall into negative jobs.
Yeah, and it says thank you. Keep up your struggle. Just saying nowadays, people that are coming. I mean, there's a lot of criminal element of like the Asians. Like I believe that's where, like over in China, that's where the stuff comes from, right? The makings of
Well, they're making them in Mexico now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's because in my community, and I'm pretty sure anywhere out there throughout the United States, it doesn't even have to be poor. There's a lot of fentanyl overdoses, children passing away thinking that they're taking a Percocet, or just all these different things. I don't believe. I see Facebook posts of people trying to give away free drugs to kids, and to me, I don't think that's. I've never met a drug dealer that, and I would, that targeted toddlers, and you know what I mean. Because if I met somebody, then I'd probably do something that to them. What are you doing? Oh, you
Yeah.
give these to the kids. Like what? Like you know what I mean? There's just being in that grown up in the criminal element, and there's a lot of people don't believe it, but there is a lot of guidelines that you do have to follow if you fall under a certain brand that you have. You know what I mean? Women,
Sure.
children, all this other stuff can't be phased, and if there is, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences in the system. So
Yeah. Ultimately, it's perspective, and I feel like I have a positive perspective on the people that are coming through. And I mean, having a negative one isn't going to help me at all. I'm not going to be able to change anything about it, unfortunately. And so then it would just leave me with a bunch of negative thoughts that there's nothing that I can do about.
yeah,
That's something that I just don't believe in. I feel like everybody's got a chance to make the choice between right and wrong, and I hope that these people that are coming across do right. That's how I feel.
yeah,
Whether
most
whether they
definitely
do or
because
don't, it's up to them. But to say categorically that I'm anti-immigrant, I'm not, because my grandparents came over from Monterrey, Mexico, and they waded through and they applied for citizenship. They got it years later. They had to go to the classes. And I understand what it's like to have to wait and be patient, but to categorically just deny group of people that are coming across. I don't know every single million person's thoughts, and I'm not going to try to. I just hold out a positive perspective and hope.
So we're building this film, and as you can see, like even just talking about the subject, it ruffles some feathers. And what is your intake? Like you said, you want to give the insight of the child that has that opportunity to deal with either getting unalived by the cartel, Junior, get down, please, and getting unalived by the cartel and having to roll with it. Because there's, sometimes, because I don't have the insight of Mexico. I've never hung out like how you did, and had dealings with that type of stuff, so I can't speak on it. But if you're, I'm going to watch your film, or I am going to watch your film, and I'm going to have, I want, to see what you say about having the insight of the opportunity of being able to get on there.
So in the film, Efren, his father passes away in the film for insulting a local, cartel
Yeah.
chief. And once his father passes away, his mother decides that she's going to send him up to the United States, and the first thing they do is get as much money as they can. Well, before he leaves, the people find out from the cartel and they come after the kid. So he leaves with his aunt and uncle, and he gets separated once they cross the border. And the coyote that crosses him over ends up retaining custody of the kid, well, illegally, and raising him. So the child doesn't get a chance to go to school like normal kids. He's raised by these people around people doing, crimes and all types of other ways that they're using him and using him to their lucrative ways. Well, when you don't have a chance to leave, you're going to do exactly what you're told, kind of Stockholm syndrome. You're gonna go ahead and see these people in a positive light because you're not going to see another option. Yeah, I'm sure that there's options that somebody could leave the cartel, but you'll see them hanging from trains.
Yeah, most definitely. Because the things I watch on YouTube and other stuff that interests me is the prison gangs from Northern California, Southern California, the Tango Blasts that are out there, the
Sure.
Latin Kings in Chicago, the Bloods in New York, and just you walk away from that life, and it's still like, even though you're not doing that, you're still interested in like what's going on in the yards. You're interested in what's going on, and then a lot of it has to do. I watch a lot of like the interviews with like the cartel men, and these guys are super scary compared to your highest gang member in the United States, because these guys are so multiple and have no guidelines. They go after kids. They burn down. They get women and children. And I seen one where the nightclub was burnt down and unalive the whole thing because they didn't want to pay rent, pay the cartels. And it's you know,
They
and
live by a different set of rules, than I grew up over here in San Antonio in the '90s, and I had my friends that I hung out with. I can't say I've been straight my whole life, but the people that I hung out with, were bad people, and the things that they were doing are absolutely nothing compared to what these kids at 9, 10, 12 years old are doing, as they're already sicarios and hitmen in Mexico. By the time they're 17, they have 20 to 50 kills under their belt, and they're just so far gone that trying to get that person to go work at a job when they've been paid $1,000 just to go and pull a trigger for somebody, it's something that they're not even going to conceptualize because it's so difficult. But they're not going to want to work, and that's the type of story that I'm telling here. Someone that they got so far gone into the life that they chose, what, I'm going to keep going up with it. Ultimately, Efren has to go against other factions, against the people, the police that are after him, the crimes that he commits. Though, every person that you commit a crime against, they have family, and that
Yeah,
family may be tied. And so you got to face the repercussions, not only, of the police and government that are after you, but that family and their ties coming after you. So I want to show the threats and dangers that he has to go to till he becomes the American Coyote, the notorious
yeah,
American Coyote. But it's not to glorify; it's more to show the difficulties that it takes to become this person, and why, a little bit of the why these people are
yeah.
doing these things, because there aren't as many opportunities for them as there is for us over here as Americans.
Yeah, there's quite a few films too, like Sin Hombre. I used to watch back in the day, and then
Yeah,
most recently, the only one I could think of that's like similar to yours is like the Better Life. Have you watched that one?
not yet.
No, it's he crosses the border. He's a famous actor now. He was on, I think, Fear the Walking Dead, but his like first like film I think was A Better Life, and it shows him like just a migrant worker, or he's not even a migrant worker. He's out there in California and he's doing lawn service and all this other stuff to provide for his child. And it's a pretty good movie, and it shows like when the boss decides to quit his job and move back to Mexico. He made enough to buy a house and live
Yeah,
comfortably now, and wants to sell him the business and to keep him. It's a really great movie. It's an intense movie,
yeah,
and that kind of gives the insight of like the workers. So I really wanted to get the insight of the characters in your movie, because there's other ones that I watched like I believe it was like Dateline. They'll go over to Mexico and do like an hour segment of the aftermath of the cartels, of going to each body to each call in a day. I mean, that is just, like here where I'm at. It's pretty violent out here too, but it's nothing compared to what you see. And this was like 15 years ago, the segments they showed. You know what I mean? Like I said, I watch stuff on YouTube that how to fix your sink, or how to change battery. Just all these different
yeah.
things that YouTube has to offer, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to get the insight of somebody that you're the first person I spoke to that made a movie, that I was able to chop it up with, because we're both hungry. We're both 10 toes down on making things happen in the entrepreneurship world. We're both have that strive to we're not giving up. Like, no matter how many times we get knocked down, we still get up. And if you see the story of me and my wife and a lot of these people like AC Lopez, of all these different people, we all built this bond over the years of from watching YouTube, getting on lives. And there was a time when we were kicked out of the housing that we were at, and we were living in the restaurant that I used to have. And the YouTube community came together and donated money. Like, there's Convicts Perspective, Latin Pain, who I'd like to introduce you to, because he's a Puerto Rican from New York that now lives in San Antonio. Because I seen, are you still looking for extras, or?
I'm always open to extras in our films, and we have multiple films coming up. I give everybody a shot. It might not be a speaking role, but everybody that wants to act, I try to at least give them an opportunity to come, be on set, see what's going on, and get a chance to at least be on film and get their foot in the door. There's a lot of people that I know in San Antonio that are filming, and so if they come and they're on my set, if I see one of my other director friends or one of my other friends making a film, then I instantly refer them so that they can get some more experience, because I feel acting is something that a lot of people are capable of. And I definitely am always open to receiving new actors with us at Lions Act Productions. We could always use extra actors.
Yeah, and that one thing that we hardly ever get to hear for somebody um, that does take that step into entrepreneurship. And one thing that we never get to hear too much of, bro, but I am proud of you, and I'm proud of you, your service, your goals, your stories, your service, and what you bring to the table. I am proud of you, bro, and I respect your goal and I respect your hustle. And in a world full of hate, like people that when you tell people, hey, I'm going to open a restaurant, I'm going to start a food truck, I got a lot of laughs. I got people, my own father, laughing at me, for homeboys laughing at me, and people who just and will not come to support, will not come to my food truck. Like these are family members of mine and my wife's that will not come to our food truck, will not share a post, will not engage, and it's it's just a hard reality of getting, we obviously have good hearts. I picture that you have one too, but sometimes you have to get that calloused heart now, because you see how
Yeah,
people react when you want to move better, and you're like, hey, I'm opening a movie, I'm going to start a movie, and people probably were like, oh, like whatever, you
yeah,
know.
I get that. There's a it's a small town mentality, and crabs in a bucket type people that for me, um, I'm more of an aggressive person, and I like to do something. If I have a problem, I'm gonna face it head on. I enjoy grappling. I enjoy boxing. I enjoy fight combat sports, and for me, that's what I do in my fun time. Is I go and I train with these guys that are martial artists when I can, and I love just being in a fight. So for me, the difficult thing is having people online do sly remarks or go around me and try to hurt us negatively in a way, and then my friends will tell me about it, and it's like, and I can't fight them obviously because I can't fight everybody in the world, but that's the part where I'm learning, just to bite my tongue and not worry about it because I'm not in competition with anyone. I want everybody to win, but if you're gonna take a stance against me, I'm just gonna cut you off and move on from there because
Yeah,
do what I want to do.
yeah, there's a thing I shared on Facebook today. It was if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks at you, you're not going to get to your destination. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
exactly.
it's family members. It's actually family members, people I thought were close friends that I've cut off. Other entrepreneurs that I've met from, that I just cut off because they'll like you said, they'll go behind your back and talk about you to, up themselves or something. And it's just like, I don't, I don't like it, but like you said, fighting, that's what it seems like I've been doing my whole life, is fighting.
Yeah,
And,
same.
and, so when it comes to conflict, and like you said, you can't go around punching everybody in the mouth, and that's the first reaction. But then after, it's just kind of like, well, that's their opinion,
They
and
showed their
then,
colors. Yeah, they
yeah,
showed
then
their
they'll campaign and be like, to try to get people to not like you. And it's just like, it's, it's like, seems like most of the dealers get more respect than I do, and I'm just over here selling Indian tacos. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's just like they'll praise their nephew, whatever. Oh, look how much money he's making. It's like, well,
yep,
look at what he's doing to the. Because I've done it. I've ruined my community, ruined people's lives, and that's something I took a stance on. Is I'm never going to hustle ever, no matter how hard times get. I'll never do that. I'd rather hold a sign saying "We'll work for work."
yeah,
Give money for work, or I would. There's no way I'd ever want to ruin people's lives ever again. I've done that my whole life.
yeah.
So to take a stance and be like, I'm never gonna hustle, and it's just like, and dealing with sobriety. I got over 2 years of sobriety, of alcohol free, and it's
Congratulations, brother.
yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. There's a lot of stuff that when you become that face, because you now are the face of an independent film director. You know what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah,
And so you got a lot of good and bad, and a lot of people don't know what it takes to get up and face these. You expect people, hey, I'm proud of you, and then, never, that's awesome what you're doing. It kind of, and then people are used to, that's kind of the gig of it. But like, when you get outsiders that stop, and you got, little dog here saying it's much appreciated, bro. That type of stuff
yeah.
makes you feel, you know what I mean?
Like
Must
I'm
make
on
you
the
feel
right
good.
track. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
I when you look at the analytics of films and how many films are making money nowadays, even the greatest films, the ones making the most amount of money, still have a small percentage of the United States going to see it. You know, there's a huge amount of people that are not going to watch your movie, that are not going to like your movie, and you just have to be unaffected by that and just keep moving forward because you're just going to do what you feel is right in your path. And I feel very strongly that my path is to be a storyteller. I have famous friends, I have infamous friends, you know, and everything in between. And the ones that support me, I feel that love and that positivity, and that's what inspires me. You know, my
Yeah.
family, not all my family supports this, but it's okay because they don't have to. I don't
No.
support everything my family does, but they'll know their cousin, their uncle Marcus always loves them and is always going to be there for them. So I don't feel like I need to make everybody happy. With my films, I feel like as long as I give my best at the end of the day, like yourself, I'm a little over 4 years sober. If I know that I'm giving my best, working the hardest that I can to do what I can and bring these stories to light, then in the end I'll be happy with myself, and that's what I'm really worried about. Not sure if it froze on me, but I appreciate everybody that has gotten a chance to watch this live. I'm sure that Travis will get this fixed up soon, but if not, thank you everybody for checking in. I appreciate all y'all. Y'all check out the American Coyote. We got a Facebook page, and from over there we'll have all the pictures updated. We have Lions Act Productions as
Great.
well. There's my brother. Yeah, I was showing everybody my face. We got a Facebook page. We got
Oh
Lions
yeah,
Act
yeah. You
as
make sure
well.
you get all your information out there that
Yeah,
you have, that people can get on and support you and link up and watch your trailers. And I'm definitely excited for the release of the movie. We can definitely keep in touch like that. And if I ever
definitely.
make my way to San Antonio, Texas, because Latin Pain, he always invites the family out there. He's a great dude. He's got that New York swag, and
Yeah,
he's a pretty cool guy, man. He's very infectious. And you'll dig him. So I'll
yeah.
hit him up, be like, hey, if you want to be a part of the extra or something, or
We can always use a New Yorican. Those guys
yeah,
are. Yeah. We'll make a spot for him, bro. Of
that's
course.
what's up. Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah, if you can tell people your YouTube channel and your
Sure.
Facebook, Instagram, anything else, or if they want to get a hold of you, if they're in the Texas area
Yeah.
and want to get linked up and be a part.
Sure. First off, I guess I'll move out the way real quick. Y'all can catch us. We have a Facebook page for Lions Act Productions as well as an Instagram page. The American Coyote has a Facebook page that currently we provide all our information on. And I have a YouTube. You can find it under Malo Marcos TV. I want to thank everybody for coming and checking in. I appreciate everybody's time and interest in the film. This is our first film. I got a couple coming after that I feel are going to be powerful. The Vaqueros of Hawaii is a story about the Mexicans that were taken over in the 1830s to Hawaii to teach the what are now called pañolos how to cowboy these cattle and how to control these cattle that had gone wild since Captain Cook had dropped them off a few generations before. And that's going to be something that I feel is really powerful. I got a lot of Hawaiian support behind me and a lot of Mexican support. We're going to be starting filming that in a couple weeks, and we also have recently acquired the rights to DJ Kane to doing his biopic. He's a Grammy Award winning singer. He's a fantastic person that I've known for many years, and this will be the first chance that he gets to release his story. You know, growing up from Corpus Christi and then coming up to superstardom and traveling all over the world, South America, Central
Oh yeah, I
America.
know who DJ Kane is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know who he
He's
is. Yeah,
he's the voice of cumbia, you know, and he's
yeah.
going to be having his we're going to do his biopic, Lions Act Productions, and we're going to start pre-production on that in a few weeks as well. We have another film called No One Cries for David. That's it's about a young man that went through a tough life and he committed matricide, and he was subsequently sentenced to prison, and he's currently incarcerated and should be released in a few years. Well, he gave us the rights to his story as to why he did it, and that man has had such a tough life. And we are building the mock trailer that we're currently filming right now at Lions Act Productions. But that film is called No One Cries for David, and my wife Sabrina Trevino is the director of that. So we have a lot of projects coming up, and if the American Coyote is in your taste, don't worry, we got some other flavors. We're like the ice cream man. If chocolate ain't for you, we got vanilla. We got all types of stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that.
we'll find a
So
flavor.
before we end the interview, what would you like to say to somebody that's just thinking about, like, hey, should I start, getting into films? What would you like to say to that youngster, or even somebody that's interested in getting into it?
I would say anybody can do this. And I mean that with the utmost respect to all the filmmakers. Everybody has a chance at life. And if you're here listening, I just want you to know that you can do this. Take the time, put your best, absolute best efforts in your writing. Build yourself a team of people that you care about and trust you and your vision, and put your story out. We need to hear these stories. Everybody has a voice for a reason, and I think that everybody deserves to be heard. YouTube is a fantastic platform. Not everything needs to be a film. Get out. Look what we're doing right now on the Lucky Local podcast. Get on a podcast. Share your thoughts, your emotions with people. Just be yourself, and the world will provide. I feel so. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody that's thinking of becoming a filmmaker or getting into the entertainment business, you definitely have a chance. And right now is the time. There's no better time than now.
Yeah, most definitely. I appreciate that, brother, and I really appreciate your time of being on here. As we talked, I finally got my Red Bull. My
Cheers.
wife came home. Yeah,
I'm
my wife
doing one
came
right
home,
now.
hooked it up. Yeah, most definitely. And I appreciate your time coming on, man, because I know it's short notice. We kind of just chopped it up. We hit each other up on Facebook, and I was like, "Hey, look, I'm doing if you want to do an interview,
Yeah.
and tomorrow I'm gonna at 6 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to be interviewing Robin Wise. She's
Awesome.
an advocate of the missing and murdered Indigenous women and missing and murdered Indigenous people, and she's got a story to tell too, and she's got because I've heard it before on Frank's Vibes. There's a few links if you want to check out some of the stories and stuff that I watch, man, because um, there's a lot of inspiration in watching these channels and the subscribers and fellow entrepreneurs. It's
We could support each other for a better cause. That's something that definitely we empathize with. Yeah.
yeah, and I really appreciate AC Lopez jumping on, and with
Absolutely.
everybody with everything that's going on, and I really
Thanks.
want to watch this show, and I'll do a couple reactions to your trailers. I watched your comedy stand up thing. It was pretty funny. It was pretty cool. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, get it. It's like, all right. And then, just watching this stuff. Please, you guys, subscribe to his channel. He's at 300 and something. Let's get him to 1,000. Let's get him monetized. And let's get his voice heard, and let's get his show going, man. I want you guys to support this gentleman. Um, Please go to his YouTube channel. If you guys are interested, inbox me on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll send his link to his YouTube channel. Because when I tried looking it up, it brought up a bunch of different other people. So
Sure.
yeah, so I definitely want your voice to be heard. If you want to check out anything else, and like I said, I appreciate you, brother. And let's stay in touch, and let's. If you're down to do another interview, or if Little Dog's down to do an interview too, talk about
Yeah.
Native Americans and the breaking barriers of being in the film industry, because we're no longer Tonto, we're no longer drunk Indians on screen, we're no longer them people that media back in the day would make movies and make us look subhuman or whatever, or make fun of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got a voice now. We got movies. We got actors, as you know. We got stuntman here. It's Little Dog, the stuntman,
Yes.
and and breaking barriers, and just having gente raza, or anybody that's hustling that wants to get out there and make a name for themselves, to be heard, have a story to tell. We definitely want to help you. So if you guys please subscribe to his channel and watch his stuff, and let's get him to 1,000 subscribers.
Thank you for the support, Lucky Dog. I appreciate you, AC, for coming on and checking us out. We may not agree on everything, but I love you, brother. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us here, and we'll definitely meet down the road. Y'all have a good one.
All right. As we're going to call it a night, call it a day. This is your boy Lucky Loco. Please comment, share, and support this brother. And like I said, if you want more of his information, hit me up or hit him out. And we'll definitely. Well, brother, you have yourself a great day. I'll let you get to your Red Bull too.
Thank you. I'm on the way.
All right,
Let's
brother.
go.
All right, for sure. All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Lucky.